where dreams come alive.
Paris 2024, the Olympic Games entered into day 7 with action from the pool. But the most exciting for many people from a Caribbean perspective, athletics began on day number 7 with intensity of the games increasing, and officially 1 week since the start, since that Olympic ceremony on the Seine River. The women 100 meters saw expected results and some surprises. I'm Sachin Ramsubag and welcome to We Paddy Prime, where we give you a synopsis of what transpired during day 7 of the Paris 2024 Games. And joining me on set to discuss these games are Anil Roberts, Janelle Atkinson, and of course Chris Taylor. You've seen him throughout the entire course of the day, but he joins us today as well to add some difference in perspective, especially as it pertains to the athletes from a Caribbean side of things. Well, lots of action happened in the pool today with Jordan Crooks from Bermuda, from the Cayman Islands rather, doing, I think, in my opinion, representing the Caribbean well. The first athlete in the final from a swimmer's perspective since George Bovell. Anil Roberts, what say you?
I say you're correct. Give respect where respect is due. To make an Olympic final is fantastic. However, he had a morning swim in the heats of 21:51, a semi-final swim of 21:54, and in the final, when it counted, when the lights, you go ahead, my mic, we have a technical...
Janelle, what say you about Jordan Crooks, about the representation from a Caribbean perspective? Yes, he did not finish on the podium, but I think the representation certainly was there.
No, absolutely. And when you're on that stage, you know, always you want to put your best foot forward and to represent. You know, you want to put your island on the map. You want people talking about, people know who it is, who we are, where we're from, etc. So the fact that he's gone through the rounds, and I mean, not for nothing, the broadcasters, you know, spoke a lot about Jordan Crooks, the amount of power that he had in his race, his breakouts, his speed. And you know what, it's one of those where it's heartbreaking because he had such a great run going all the way through. I think going back to the drawing board, he needs to work on that finish because he was right there and was only a couple hundredths of a second away from that bronze. So as long as he can commit to the finish and really, you know, maybe he needed that breath. I don't know. But, you know, there's something lacking there. But, you know, for his first Olympics, first finals, haven't had one since 2012, nobody in the Caribbean can say a thing about that because we've been crying and bawling about how swimmers aren't advancing, etc. Here we have this young gentleman, made it through the semis, made it through finals in arguably one of the hardest races because it's all about technicality.
Yep, Donald Oliver spoke to one Jordan Crooks. Let's hear what he had to say after his race.
1.64 seconds. Your immediate reaction in the aftermath of that race, what are your thoughts?
Just happy to be here. Glad I was able to compete in an Olympic final. My first one, so yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the fact that you're able to go into the final, the first Cayman Island swimmer to advance to a final, was there a lot of pressure on you?
I mean, at points, yeah, but I tried to just focus on my race and, you know, stick to the plan, so yeah.
It seems as if you're at peace with that, just taking part in the final.
Yeah. No, I mean, I came here to try and final. I did that, and you know, anything beyond that, I'd just be grateful to, you know, get. So. Yeah.
What do you take away now from this experience?
You know, it's always fun to race these guys, and you know, I've learned a lot just going through the, you know, prelims to semis and semis to final stage. So, you know, just add that to preparation for future meets. Yeah.
You had a lot of support from back home. What do you say to them now?
Thank you to everyone back home supporting it. We really appreciate it. It means a lot.
Really impressive stuff indeed from Jordan Crooks. And he really did admit, and I think as well, it was a good admission that, you know, he got to the final and he is really satisfied with what he's done and what he's achieved. Yes, the disappointment clearly was showing Chris on his face that not being able to finish on the podium. But I think as well, he himself knows that, hey, this in itself is a massive accomplishment.
Yeah, and you look at the history, not many Caribbean men have made it to an Olympic final in swimming. So, you know, from that perspective, major achievement. As you said, it all started, what, in 1984 with Andrew Phillips. But, you know, so it's not a regular occurrence for the Caribbean. So we applaud that effort from Crooks, as I said, just 22 years of age. I did say yesterday that after his semi-final, he seemed a little bit shocked himself, a little bit surprised, like wondering, startled, almost, you know, where do I go from here? And you just wonder if maybe, you know, the huge occasion might have gotten him a little bit of cold feet and so on. But as you said, remarkable to be there. I think he will look back and say to himself that having swam 21.51 and 21.54 a couple hours apart on the previous day, that he might have been a little bit disappointed to execute 21.66 in that race if he was to totally break it down, considering that the third place medalist was 21.58, which was actually slower than what he had swam in the heats and semi-finals. But again, first Caymanian to get there to do this, only swimming finalist from the Caribbean in this year's championships. Good achievement.
Yeah, I think we do have Anna Roberts back on here. Your powerful voice has destroyed the microphone, sir.
That happens all the time. That's all right. SportsMax has great equipment, so we put in a substitute. Jordan Crooks, well done. Brilliant. Finalist, Olympics, as we said, first Olympic finalist, 1984, Jamaica. Andrew Phillips, 200 IM in Los Angeles, coming 7th. In 1972, we had Jeffrey Ferreira of Trinidad and Tobago making a semi-final.
All right, so we're still having some technical issues with Anna Roberts' microphone, but I'm sure you heard some of his points through the other microphones. But in the meantime, we're going to take a short break and come back with more. Hopefully, we have Anna Roberts back on with us. Stay with us.
Dans la ville de Paris, where dreams come alive, nous sommes ensemble, notre âme survit. Glorious, we rise above, in the gates of unity, we find our love, glorieux. Nous nous aimons, dans les jeux d'unité, nous trouvons notre éclat.
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
In a world where our dreams sometimes seem so far away, Digicel is the partner that brings us all together. Stay connected this summer at home or on the go with Digicel Plus Home Fiber or a Prime Broader plan. Enjoy premium access to the action anywhere you're there. One side, one Digicel. One Jamaica. Digicel. Better connected.
Be terrified by the line that went on forever, where one man is trapped in a never-ending car insurance payment line.
Wow, that sounds like a nightmare.
Right?
So why not skip the horror story and choose BCIC for all your car insurance needs?
You can go online and get a quote in less than 5 minutes. Or you can buy a policy in less than 10 minutes.
Plus payment options and so much more designed especially for you. BCIC, rethink insurance.
Severe back pain? Take Aleve Extra Strength. 2 Aleve can last as 8 of others, relieving severe body pain for up to 12 hours. Because what you do all day is important. Aleve is from Bayer.
It's the Paris Games, darling. Everything needs to be perfect. Sneakers and spikes?
Check.
Her looks?
Check.
Okay, team. Seems like we pulled this off in record time. So, I just want to know, where's the water? Thanks, but I mean the cases of water. So she can stay hydrated for the games? Where's the water?
I didn't think she was taking water with her to Paris.
Hey, Jacko!
The water team send the cases ahead, so if you're good, then I'm officially ready for Paris.
Track and field. Swimming. Or any sport. Place your bets on the 2024 Olympics and more at betcakesports.com and enjoy the payouts. Now available on Barbados, St. Lucia, and Antigua Barbuda.
We are booking together when everybody out. Fried chicken with a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flame. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment to share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Bucket together, bucket together.
Hey love, you excited for date night tonight? I'm seeing you at 5, right?
Of course, babe. I'll see you at 5.
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for staying with us. We were discussing before we went to the break about Jordan Crooks's appearance in the 50-meter freestyle final. Yes, he finished 8th in the end, but just in total, the representation from a Caribbean perspective. Arnold Roberts, let's hear your perspective.
Made a final. Well done, Jordan Crooks. Well done, Cayman Islands. Getting into an Olympic finals is no joke. You did your job. You got in there. I mean, the first Olympic finalist we had from the Caribbean in swimming in 1984, Jamaica, Andrew Phillips, 200 IM. Before that, you know, we had Geoffrey Ferreira from Trinidad and Tobago making a semi-final in 1972 in the 100-meter butterfly, breathing sideways. Then you move on to Anthony Nesty, gold, and so on, into Leah Martindale, into Janelle right here, into George Bovell. So he made the final. Ariana Vanderpool Wallace from Bahamas. So he was absolutely brilliant. He did fantastic. 21:51 in the heats, 21:54, and then 21:66. However, having said that, while I'm proud of him, when the bright lights come on, when it's time for action, you've got to take what is there for the taking. He had the capability. He had swum the time before, twice, in order to get up on that podium. So there must be a bit of disappointment as a coach, as an athlete, as a nation, that it didn't pan out and it didn't come in. If they had swum, if bronze medal was 21:45, and I would have said okay. But when it's within your grasp, you've got to take it, because you never know when these chances are there. His start was brilliant. He was powerful till 30 meters. He's got to maintain that speed. His stroke rate slows down with 15 meters to go. Some of them slow down with 5 meters to go to lengthen the stroke, using their core to touch the wall. His slowdown, his stroke rate slows down too early. He's got to maintain that stroke rate, which is the arms turning over, till about 46, 45 meters, get his hand on the wall. But a great swim. I'm happy.
You think he needed that breath?
I don't know why he breathed. That is the difference. It should never breathe.
He didn't. I'm asking because when the stroke rate starts to slow down, at some point that oxygen deficiency starts to impact.
Well, then you should, right. But that's where the coach comes in. From the first swim, you've got to check it, because the stroke rate was slowing down each one of the 3 events. So correct, Janelle, as a coach, will say, listen, while we say don't breathe, do you think you need a breath? Are you feeling gas? Because he is huge. So that's a great point, but that's what coaches have to do up there. So that's a question for his American coaches. should he have squeezed a breath in order to keep that stroke rate going? All right, because I didn't think he took a breath, but that makes sense. Nothing, one size does not fit all. So because McAvoy and Proud and Manado not breathing, they're finishing, they're maintaining a stroke rate. Up there as a coach, you have to study film and make decisions. So that is a great point, Janelle. You needed to test it out, maybe before and after.
Just quickly before we move to the final, what sort of recovery work needs to be done for an individual, an athlete like Crooks? Because as everyone knows, his muscular structure is ginormous.
Right.
So the muscles must be feeling some sort of pain.
Absolutely correct. As soon as he finishes swimming that heat and that final, you walk across. There are two 50-meter pools side by side. That's the warm-down pool, the warm-up pool. You get in there, you replenish your glycogen with a liquid substance, whatever it is. Some people say SportsMax, Gatorade, whatever you want to call it, with Powerade, whatever brand. You drink that, you drink your water, you get in the pool. You start off swimming at about 70 or 80% in order to reduce that lactic acid. You don't just get in and flop around and swim down. You start off at 70% and gradually descend. 60%, 40%, 30%. Then you swim about 800 to 1,200 meters. You check your heart rate, make sure you get it back down to your resting heart rate, and get out, full massage, eat, drink, sleep, eat, get ready.
Interesting points indeed. That's, of course, for the benefit of the viewers and myself as well. For those of you who are not too sure how the recovery process of a swimmer at that level needs to get done. Now, Jamaica's Josh Curlew stopped the clock in 54.66 to finish 5th in Heat 1 of the 100-meter butterfly. Unfortunately, he did not advance. Now, the other finals took place today as well. We're talking about the 50-meter freestyle final, one in which Jordan Crooks took place in. Coming in 3rd position was Manado from France in 21.56. Second was Proud from Great Britain, 21.30. And McAvoy from Australia, 21.25. A very quick race indeed, Anil.
Absolutely quick. Now, I thought Proud would win with 21.22, but McAvoy's stroke was immaculate. He held it straight down. His touch could have been a little bit better. However, we spoke about the slow pool, and I told Chris yesterday, listen, in that shallow pool, the guys who are on the outside in lane 8 and lane 1, they have a little bit of an advantage in a sprint because there is an empty lane next to them, which means that the water will be a little bit smoother. And there you see Manado coming to steal the bronze medal, and on lane 1, Liendo just missing that bronze medal by 0.02. So that if the pool was deeper, the fellas in the middle, which Crooks is one of them, had a disadvantage in this wavy pool, because when those big guys start generating power and speed, the turbulence, which creates resistance, slows them down.
Chris, a quick point on that race?
Yeah, as I said, those two, Proud and McAvoy, had shown the consistency right through the heat, semi-finals and so on. They were the two favorites. In fact, we said that everybody else were battling for the bronze, for 3rd place. So no surprise in terms of that. I agree with Anil. I thought Proud was probably the favorite coming in, but McAvoy, excellent. In fact, created a gap that, as Janelle had said to me as well, allowed him to glide to the finish, which is why Anil was saying it could have been a better touch. But because he had that little slight lead, that maybe neck length worth of lead, it counted in the end for him. So, yeah, as I said, lovely race right through. Josh Luendo, as Anila said, swimming for Canada, but Trinidad and Tobago roots.
Man.
So
he
can be adopted as a Caribbean man.
We taking that Trini boy. Yeah, man.
Now let's advance a bit now to the women's 200-meter backstroke final. Coming in 3rd was Mass from Canada in 2:05.57. Regan Smith from the USA 2:05.26, and Kaylee McCone of Australia 2:03.73 with an Olympic record, Janelle. Big race indeed. We've seen over the last few days Olympic records being broken.
Yes, and you know, what's a fabulous race, because McKeon, when she took that 100 backstroke, I think she kind of put everybody on notice that the 200 backstroke was going to be hers no matter what. I was impressed to see that Kylie Massey finished as strongly as she did. Regan, even though she has won her medals already, I know was hungry for another one, especially in this event, but I mean, great effort by those 3 women.
You know what I like about this race, and all young athletes and all aspiring elite athletes must look. Regan Smith and Kylie Mass are out of form. They're not tapered perfectly. But yet they came in here knowing that. And this is Regan Smith closest to us here, and Kylie Mass out there in lane 2. They put their minds to it. They desired it. They wanted it. They took their bodies to a level that their body was not prepared. They took higher levels of pain. Yes, they suffered in the last 15 meters, but they still did enough mentally to force their body to go that speed to get silver and bronze. McEwen is by far the best. Her coach got it right. Her technique is right. Her taper is right. She's right on speed. She can finish. She's perfect. But these two girls, I must applaud them for the testicular fortitude that they showed, the guts to take it out, to push themselves, and they got up on the podium. Risk and reward.
Testicular.
I wasn't going to say it, you know. I was not going to say it.
But
I was
remember,
going to stay.
we don't show any bias here.
That is bias.
We don't.
That is very much so biased.
But I must say, Bacon, who, if you're going to say about tapered athletes, Bacon was probably the tapered athlete coming into this.
Yes.
And she was, I would think, behind McEwen, the second favorite. And it does show the guts of those two on the outside to hold off Bacon. Because Bacon was coming with all kind of force after about maybe in the last, I would say, 75 meters of that race. Bacon was putting on the pressure, but the guts and so on of the Canadian and the American on the outside. Brilliant.
All right, so we on to the last final of the day, the men's 200-meter IM final. And it was Marchand into his final yet again.
Say the name again.
Marchand. Leon Marchand.
Leon
Marchand. Leon Marchand.
To the world.
Olympic record, 4th gold medal of the meet.
Wow, to the world.
You nearly broke the
Just
record.
take a look at greatness before your eyes. Everything you want your children to be in an athlete, the discipline, the intelligence, the attention to detail, the respect for his coaches, the love of his country, the love of his anthem, the ability to take pressure and perform to perfection. This Leon Marchand is the Michael Jordan of swimming. Michael Phelps is the greatest, 23 goals. This young man, if God willing, he stays healthy, is going to challenge. When we saw Michael Phelps, we thought we will never see anything like that again. But lo and behold, we are seeing it before our eyes. For a man to go a 200 butterfly and 200 breaststroke, winning gold, taking on the rest of the world individually. The 400 IM is his thing.
On the same day.
On the same day, all the time. Heats, semis, finals, in front of his home crowd, pressure from Paris, pressure from France. All we can do is say it together. Marchand.
Marchand. I wish we had more time to talk about this, but when we return from this break, track and field takes the spotlight. Stay with us on We Paddy Prime.
Pour rivaliser avec passion et courage, nos cœurs sont élevés. In the arena, we give our all. With grace and honor, we stand tall. Dans l'arène, nous donnons tout. Avec grâce et honneur, nous restons debout.
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
It's the Paris Games, darling. Everything needs to be perfect. Sneakers and spikes?
Check.
Her looks?
Check.
Okay, team. Seems like we pulled this off in record time. So, I just want to know, where's the water? Thanks, but I mean the cases of water. So she can stay hydrated for the games? Where's the water?
I didn't think she was taking water with her to Paris.
Hey, Jacko!
The water team send the cases ahead, so if you're good, then I'm officially ready for Paris.
Life come with plenty tough decisions. But you know what not hard? Deciding which flavors to get on your amazing 4 pizza. Pepperoni, Hawaiian, chicken chunks, vegetarian. There's no pressure with Pizza Hut's amazing 4. You get 4 juicy flavors with 1 less choice to make. Pizza Hut. Now that's delivery.
In the heart of Kingston's business mecca is a 17-story gem. The Jamaica Pegasus Hotel offers luxury to all our visitors for business or leisure. Relax in one of our many deluxe suites with mountain or pool views. Savor the array of culinary delights in our Blue Window restaurant. Enjoy complimentary breakfast or visit our 24/7 cafe. We boast 9 extensive conference facilities for your meetings and banquets. We look forward to welcoming you soon at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel.
In a world where our dreams sometimes seem so far away, Digicel is the partner that brings us all together. One side, one goal. One Digicel. One Jamaica.
Absolutely incredible performance.
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
We are back with We Paddy Prime. The track and field section of the Paris Olympic Games got on the way at Stade de France on Friday morning. Jamaica's Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce on the hunt for a 5th consecutive 100-meter Olympic Games medal led home 5 Caribbean qualifiers in the women's 100-meter. Fraser-Pryce clocked 10.92 to finish 2nd in Heat 8 behind Marie-José Talu-Smith. Julian Alfred won her heat in 10.95 seconds. Jamaica's Tia Clayton and Sasha Lee Forbes both finishing 2nd in Heat 4 and 6 made progress comfortably. Now Trinidad and Tobago's Leah Bertrand also made progress with an automatic qualification, finishing 3rd in Heat 6. And we have Jehu Gordon joining us on set. He's been up very early this morning, observing the games and just really analyzing what took place. Jehu, certainly from the Caribbean perspective, the 100-meter for women taking the spotlight today.
Yeah, we saw many of the expected favorites advancing to the next round, which is a positive sign, unlike swimming of the Caribbean not making it to the semi-finals outside of Jordan Crooks, who did a splendid job in the finals. But outside of that, I think looking for the Clayton event is...
All right, Jehu, we seem to be having some issues with the microphone today, unfortunately. But, you know, Anil Roberts is with us, and he's also been looking at the games very ardently. And Anil, tell us a bit about your feelings, your initial impact from the 100 meters.
100 meters, Caribbean looks good. Looks like all our top horses are inside. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce look comfortable. She came out of the blocks brilliantly, went through her drive phases, got up straight and ran, and then shut down after about 55 meters, walking across the lane. Yes, Talu, I think, reached just before her, but Talu went much harder, higher percentage, used greater effort. Julian Alfred looked fantastic. The Jamaican Tia Clayton, she had a bit of a slow start, but you could see the power and the strength coming down at 60 meters, going on to qualify. Our Trini girl Bertrand from the inside did exceptionally well and moves on. A lot of the Caribbean athletes showing form. However, I must say, while it may pain me to say so, Sha'Carri Richardson had a pep in her step that Obadele and J. Hugh talked about yesterday with Kashane Thompson. I saw that with Sha'Carri Richardson. She looked like she popped down there at about 75% effort. Looking great, J. Hugh.
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure if the entire fan base really enjoyed having that, because we've seen the mind games played with Kashane and Noah, but now we're seeing a different side of things, especially from a woman's perspective. But tell us, Anil, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce 10.92. Talu Smith, though, and you made mention of Fraser-Pryce backing down, at least in the last 10 or 15 meters or so. But Talu getting 10.87 in a season best, fastest qualifier.
All right. That's all right, but she went for an experienced soldier. She put too much effort. It looks like sometimes when athletes are not sure about themselves, when the season has not gone to plan, they come out in an early round trying to build confidence. I saw that Talu was trying to build confidence through the first round. She ran fantastically, don't get me wrong, but it was too much effort to produce that run. You remember you have semifinals, you have finals within an hour and a half tomorrow. That's going to hurt her. Whenever these athletes go 100%, remember they're tearing their muscle fibers. You don't get that speed just like that. All your little fibers in your legs are being torn. You're damaging your muscles. So you have to go ice, recover, cool down, stretch, warm down. So the less effort and energy. Look at the beauty, look at the majesty, look at the relaxation of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce right there. Talu is running her life out. She's building, wanting to go back into the village saying, oh yes, I'm good, I did great. But she used too much effort there for me. And Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce looks good, and that's what we're talking about.
Do you think, though, that might backfire on Talu? Because she went on clearly wanting to make a statement to the world that, hey, I am the competition here.
It will backfire because her body had to use too much. You have to conserve. These are fine-tuned engines. They're like jet fuel. You only have a certain amount. And if you burn your jets, by the final, in that last 20 meters, you need to press the nitrous to finish there. And Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce looks comfortable. Julian Alfred look comfortable. Sha'Carri Richardson look comfortable, J. Hugh.
Yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson definitely look comfortable. We do have a variable to the situation in the sense that Shericka Jackson is now one of the missing pieces that has stopped Talu Smith off of the podium in the last major couple championships previously. So now with Shericka out, we could probably see Talu trying, at least this time, to finally put her foot on top of the podium.
The other two Americans, what did you think? They all come from the same camp.
All come from the same camp. Well, all three actually train with the same coach, Coach Dennis Mitchell, out in Florida. Great prospects. However, much is left to be seen after the heats this morning, as we've probably seen from previous interviews with Julian Alfred. She mentioned this morning was really to get the nerves out, to get a feel of the track, and really to take the rust off of the body.
Trinidad and Tobago, Leanne Bertrand, tell me. Can I get excited?
Okay, Anna Roberts, you're getting excited.
Well, yeah, because it's Trinidad. I want to see somebody getting a final.
Well, her aim when we spoke of her yesterday, giving a preview to this, was to progress and go below 11.
Well, Leah Bertrand PB is just about 11.05 seconds. So she will have to go way and above her best, one, to at least get out of the semi-final round. We see the charges that she is against in the leads of Julian Alfred, Sha'Carri Richardson, experienced person like Talu Smith, and even Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. So we want the best for Leah Bertrand. However, Leah will have to go way beyond her best. She needs to get a perfect start. The middle of her race is what is letting her down currently. She needs to have a better middle of her race. And obviously,
how do you have a better middle of the race? What does she have to do?
She needs to just maintain her composure through the acceleration phase and not rush that part. So once that is being done and she gets up tall into her running, it's really to maintain the technique in between and not panic coming to the end.
How does an athlete breathe through that process, knowing that you're in the middle phase that we're talking about? What's the breathing technique like? Is it different to swimming a 100 meter?
I wouldn't say it's different to swimming. What athletes at this level do is they repeatedly practice the same thing over and over. And you even see some persons, we have the likes of Tyson Gay, who've tried it many times, but he still hasn't perfected the start. We see Sha'Carri Richardson, who is the fastest woman in the world this year, and she still is not able to put together the perfect start as yet. So it is a continuous work in progress, unless it is really natural for you. This is something that is going to be an ongoing thing.
You mentioned Julian Alfred earlier. She ran heat 2 10.95 out of St. Lucia. That same heat with Michele Ahi, unfortunately not going through in 11.33, finishing 4th in that heat. What's your opinion on Julian Alfred's time?
Julian Alfred, she did what she needed to get done, right? She knew it is the first round. She doesn't need to go out there and run 10.7. It could have been as pedestrian as 11 seconds dead. She did not have the type of quality competition anywhere close to or next to her. So I'm surprised. Not to any extent, but at the same time, we look forward to see her go on and challenge for the medal.
Talk to me about Sha'Carri Richardson. They just showed the video there. Her running style, to me, appears to be a little bit different from other women. Some people like to overstride. She looks like she takes a stride well within her natural stride length, and her feet just keep tipping and touching that track. Is there something different?
Yeah, quick turnovers.
Is there something different in her style from a normal sprinter that we've seen? Is there something original?
Well, Sha'Carri is really a short figure. What she tends to do is she tends to get pretty upright in her running, which is not like most sprinters. They tend to have a slight lean from the torso period, but this is Sha'Carri's style. It is different, but unique in her own right.
It's beautiful, and she look, as you see it there, she shut down with 40 to go. She's jogging, and the other girls are not even in the picture. That's the way you want to be. You don't want to be like Talu fighting to beat Kellyanne and so on. While Talu might be feeling good, they might dance. Kellyanne relaxing, coming at them.
The composure is so amazing, and it comes with experience, I think. We spoke about experience again yesterday, being life's best teacher. Certainly the experience of one Fraser-Pryce showed today.
Yeah, this is the type of experience that we look for. We know Kellyanne has not had the amount of races under her belt that she probably would have liked to, but with age comes wisdom, and you can see here that she qualified very easily. 10.92, 10.91 is a season's best. All right, so I look forward to the fireworks that she's about to unleash coming in the semifinals.
Speaking of the fireworks, we had Sha'Carri coming in with 10.94. We mentioned Talu with 10.87 and Kellyanne Fraser-Pryce with 10.92. Any initial predictions as to possibly maybe a top 4? I don't want to narrow down top 3, but maybe a top 4, Jehu?
A lot is still left to be said. I find you getting ahead of yourself now, Sachin.
Listen, this is sport entertainment, my friend.
You get excited.
Sachin reminds me of some coaches, and some coaches out there you would know. When the competition is coming, you take out your watch, you're nervous, you're frightened, you're clapping, you don't know what to do, and you overrun, and you overtime, and you overcheck your athletes, leaving the race in training and not putting it on the track. Sachin songs like that. At this time, you have to suck it up as a coach. You have to believe in what you have done and just rest and let it take time. Sometimes at this point in the Olympics, I threw away the stopwatch. Go to the workout without a stopwatch, so I wouldn't succumb to the pressure to say, let me see how good you're going.
Well, and I know in Kellyanne's instance, because she hasn't raced as much as everybody else, she is actually flying under the radar right now. I could imagine how stress-free this Olympics for her could be, because she came out and said this is her last Olympics. She's already solidified her position as one of the greatest sprinters ever in the history of female sprinting. So for her, it is just basically to survive and advance, moving on to each round. And once we have the full 8, anybody could win that gold medal.
Smile in advance. That's all Kellyanne Fraser-Pryce needs to do. That smile in itself is a gold medal winning campaign. Now let's get some reactions from our semi-finalist from Paris.
It felt good, quite relaxed. Just want to get the nerves out of the way.
And you did that. What does it feel with the big full Stade de France, and how does the track feel?
It feels good. I love the track. It feels fast, and I'm just looking forward to the next races.
I feel so excited right now. It's such an amazing feeling. This is my first Olympics. So I really don't know what to expect, but I went with the mentality to compete. We got big cues, so I feel good.
It was great. I only came out here to execute a good race, and I think I did that. So now I have to go on to prepare for the semifinals, and then I'll take it from there.
I didn't execute the race I was expected to do, but I just glad that I'm next to the next round, so I'm satisfied.
Tell me a bit about your what you were not satisfied with. What do you want to work on?
Actually, I know I have a better start. Then I feel like I get a great start there, so that's what I mainly work on, my start.
It's always nice to hear the athletes acknowledging the points that they need to work on. Jehu, what sort of things you can really do between now and the semi-finals and maybe even the final to improve your form other than just mental conditioning?
Well, you can't really do much at this point in time, to be honest. All the work has been done in the lead up to the Olympic Games. What athletes tend to do is kind of zone in a little more mentally. They raise the arousal level, which requires a lot more, how to say it, in sync, feeling with yourself, right? So you, as many athletes would say, they can tell what time they're going to run in a heats, in a semi-finals, when you're in oneness with your body. The universe has to align once you're at the right peaking period, and once you're on the track, you would feel if you have a bad start, you would feel if your middle phase was terrible, and you would feel at the end if your knees was dropping and you just wasn't able to maintain your technique.
Anil, Leah Bertrand said something that stood out to me there. She said that this is her first Olympics, and she came into the Olympics not knowing what to expect. But she went onto the track with competing in mind.
Exactly, and what she's alluding to there is your ideal performance state. Every athlete has a different ideal performance state. Some like to wake up and don't eat, they just drink their water. Others need a specific breakfast, they listen to certain music. Some might want to hear some soca, some might want to hear some reggae. Some want to warm up, some want to talk like Hazy Crawford, some want to stay quiet like Jehu by themselves getting ready. You must know when you have your best performances, you write down in your diary what you did, how you felt. Did you argue with mommy before you went, or were you calm? Was the air condition on in the car? How long did you warm up? How were you feeling? Were you nervous? Was your heart beating? Did you feel anxious? You need to know these things, and then on that day you must get yourself into that ideal performance state, so that when Tia Clayton says she didn't have a good start, that's all right. First round, and it showed that she has speed, because bad start, blow out people. Very good. Now, what does she need to do to get a good start? She needs to get in her ideal performance state. Come down, forget the crowd, hear nothing. These athletes, they don't think. Their brain must be switched off when they go down and put their hands down and their neck goes down. Their body must be on automatic pilot, the nervous system ready to react to the starting signal. Get out of the blocks and get going. If Tia Clayton gets a better start, anything can happen. I want to see the race between 3 American, 3 Jamaican, a St. Lucian, and hopefully a Trini in there too.
Trini in there, hoping and we're praying for it right now. Hoping and praying.
You said something there though, and I want to pick your feathers a bit. So if the athlete argues with her mom before the races start and wins the race,
correct.
So you want to argue with your mom again?
Of course. Before every big race, you say, Mom, why you didn't iron my clothes crease, and make an argument, get into that zone, whatever it is. If you eat a certain thing, eat that. If you listen to the music, do that. If you do your warm-up, know what it is. If you stretch, if you didn't stretch, how you took off your tracksuit, what you did, you must always know what makes you run the best.
And I hear you, but is it something that you're setting yourself up in case something goes wrong? You are now saying that, hey, I can no longer run my best. No. What do you say about that?
No, because Anil hinged on the fact. So we see it sometimes, even in football, some players might wear the same shin guard, the same underwear. There was a certain point in my career I wore the same underwear that I wore when I was at my best. For about a year or 2 years.
Did you wash it?
Obviously.
Oh, Lord.
No, but there are certain things. It might be the watch, it might be the earring, it might be the haircut. So it all depends.
When you see Nadal both playing tennis, you will see Nadal before every serve touches his nose, pull his pants out, do so every single time the same exact amount. But that's another level. That's like OCD, but that's specific. Nadal would put down his water bottle in the exact spot on his Gatorade right there, drink it in the exact sequence. However, what I mean is you want you to be in your ideal performance state, but when something goes wrong, you have to readjust and get back there. In the 1996 100-meter final, Arthur Bolden was the fastest man in the world, but he got the bronze. Why? There were 3 false starts. Linford Christie knew he was getting licked, so he false started twice to get out of the race. Donovan Bailey went back, sat down, relaxed, stayed in his ideal performance state. Arthur Bolden moved from confident and talking to angry. He went out in the first 60 meters, blowing away the world, but he overran the first 60. What will happen? Deceleration. Donovan Bailey came through, and it's history. Gold medal for Donovan Bailey because he stayed in his ideal performance state during hectic confusion, 3 false starts. Arthur went from confident to angry and suffered a little bit.
Have you done any work, though, with Leah Bertrand? Have you seen her train back in Trinidad, or have you known what her training regime is like?
Not specifically training, but I was the manager of the 2022 NACA Under 23 team, where Leah went on to
just quickly, how was her performance then?
Yeah, she got silver to Julian Alfred at that games, and the team eventually went on to win gold in the 4x1.
Excellent.
So they are accustomed to competing against
We're looking
each
for
other.
more of that.
Looking forward to lots of things happening in the women's 100 meters coming up on Saturday. We take a short break and come back with more on We Party Prime.
Avec la scène, nous restons dans le beau. Nos éclats, nos cœurs sont élevés. India sont élevés. In the arena, we give our...
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
terrified by the line that went on forever, where one man is trapped in a never-ending car insurance payment line.
Wow, that sounds like a nightmare.
Right?
So why not skip the horror story and choose BCIC for all your car insurance needs?
You can go online and get a quote in less than 5 minutes. Or you can buy a policy in less than 10 minutes.
Plus payment options and so much more designed especially for you. BCIC, rethink insurance.
It's the Paris Games, darling. Everything needs to be perfect. Sneakers and spikes?
Check.
Her looks?
Check.
Okay, team. Seems like we pulled this off in record time. So, I just want to know, where's the water? Thanks, but I mean the cases of water. So she can stay hydrated for the games? Where's the water?
I didn't think she was taking water with her to Paris.
Hey, Jacko!
The water team send the cases ahead, so if you're good, then I'm officially ready for Paris.
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
Welcome back to We Party Prime. Thanks for staying with us. We continue to recap the opening day's action in track and field. I still have with me for company Jehu Gordon and Anil Roberts. Now, gentlemen, let's now take a look at some other events that took place today. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Shafiqua Malone ran a national record 1 minute 58.23 seconds to qualify for the 800-meter semi-finals, while Jamaica's Natoyal Gould Toppin also advanced after winning Heat 6 in 1 minute 58.66 seconds. And here is what they had to say.
Fifi Maloney out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, congratulations on qualification. Lovely run. How did it go for you?
I felt pretty smooth. There's definitely more there. Some things I could fix, but I'm pretty happy. Goal was to top 3 and make it to the semis, and that's what I did. So I'm happy with it.
Dominating in the first lap, but really had to make a run for it there in the last.
Yeah, I was trying to get clear, but she kept, swerving over. So, I just wanted to stay clear, don't get disqualified, but, stay within contention for the top 3 positions.
Yeah, you did what you have to do. How did you enjoy it out here tonight?
It was a little nerve-wracking when they started cheering for France. I was like, wow. But then, I was dialed in and I knew what I had to come out here and do, and I did just that.
Natoya Goultopin, what a dominant performance out there. How do you feel?
I'm feeling good. Just have a slightly headache. I think I need to hydrate a little bit more because of how hot it is, but I feel good.
It really is hot, isn't it? Conditions are tough.
Yes, it is, but the track is fast.
That's the good news.
I guess we can't get the best of both worlds.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did. I just wanted to go out there and run an honest race. Make sure that I'm running my pace, no matter where I am in the race, and that's what I did.
Well, you dominated from start to finish, and what a way you have the track outfit look good. Give us a twirl, man. Yeah. Beautiful.
Going out for Miss Jamaica soon.
Certainly she does have the look. She has the charisma and the fitness as well as there. Really nice to see that. The charisma on the track, Jehu, that's it's showwomanship.
Yes, Natoya Gould embodies look good, feel good, run
race good.
You understand? She's actually married to a Trinidadian, Javon Toppin.
That's why she run good, boy. Trini, yes.
Yeah, so
my goodness.
I know he's out there, he's supporting her, he's an avid supporter of his wife. And Natoya Gould has been the stalwart of Jamaica middle distance running for the last couple of years. She just missed a medal. We had big medal hopes for her in Tokyo 2020. She missed medal position, but she seems to have matured a lot. I heard in a recent interview she mentioned that she just came back down from altitude. So it seems as though she's just looking for that extra edge at the moment that would help catapult her to finally making the podium.
Yeah, you could see the focus on her face. She's really drilling in on the finish line there and keep glancing at the clock as well. It's very important to keep time.
The focus there that you're talking about is what she's looking at, a huge jumbotron. There's a jumbotron in the Stade de France. She's just looking at it to see who's behind her, how much can she conserve to finish. So that was absolute brilliance, and that shows her maturity, as Jehu said, because in Tokyo she looked good. I was supporting her for that medal, but the other girls had a little bit more savvy, their strategy and so on. Conserving energy, coming around the final bend, looking and having the wherewithal and calm to look up at that jumbotron, see who is behind you, conserve, finish, qualify, advance. She looks good.
Shafiqa and Julian from St. Lucia both said the same thing. The track is fast.
Yeah.
The track is fast.
Well, it seems so. We've already seen an Olympic record. No world record. Well, one world record in the mixed 4x4 relay earlier today. But Shafiqa, to me, I listened to her interview just now, and she said that she does have some things to fix. But you just ran a national record. I would like Shafiqa to tell me what she has to fix still, because it seems as though she wanted to guarantee her 3rd position or top 3 position, so she does not have to go to that repechage tomorrow.
Do you think, though, that the perfection attitude of the athlete there, wanting to run the perfect race and thinking that she has not run the perfect race, is a recipe for greatness?
But that is the recipe for greatness. When you see Tiger Woods win the Masters in 1998 by 13 shots, after he won it, helicopter footage, they didn't have drone back then, you saw him practicing his irons. After he won the Masters, the greatest tournament on God green earth, put on the green jacket, he went out to practice. People know about Michael Jordan going in early and staying after to perfect his shot and his moves. So when you see an athlete, and as Jehu said, national record, brilliant run, perfect, but looking for little improvements as a coach, I love that. You're never really satisfied, always looking to go a little better.
If I could just jump in here, Anil, we saw her in the last part of the race, the last 40 meters or so, really using the arms, really fighting, really pushing through, just to guarantee that she's in the top 3 positions. Again, I know Anil is a supporter of the repechage, but for me as an 800 athlete, knowing the amount of stress and pressure I will be under for the heats and even the semi-finals, I will not want to come back out tomorrow to compete in another 800 before I take on the semi-finals.
Absolutely, I agree with that point, and that's why she didn't want to do it. The point about the repechage, I prefer the repechage to the time-based initiative, who got the times when heats run in different conditions, different wind conditions, and so on. But definitely, what I think with the repechage also, it ensures that you would not see, for example, the mistake that Shericka Jackson made in a World Championship, or not qualifying by going too easy and so on, because you don't want to do it. But if you slip up, you're always happy that you have a chance. Yes, because what would Jordan Crooks do? He would wish he could swim that 50-free final
See what
again.
I said about the repechage discussion? I always enjoy second chances. Now, Jamaica's 2022 Commonwealth Games high jump champion, Lamara Dustin, failed in her bid for a place in the final. She exited the competition after failing to clear 1.92 meters. A visibly emotional Dustin spoke with Alex Jordan.
I felt flat, like the rhythm just wasn't there today, and I just tried to give it my best and it just wasn't enough. So
it happens. It's a massive stage. It's a massive competition. What did your coach say after? How has he helped you deal with the disappointment right now?
We're gonna have to talk about that because I'm emotional right now, so I'm gonna just need some time to like figure out stuff.
It's been such a wonderful year for you. Big barriers broken, including the 2-meter mark. Is there something you can take from that, even though there's such a disappointment for you here at the Olympics?
I know it's God's plan. I always say God knows what He's doing, and if He's gonna take away this from me for bigger things, I'm happy with that. So I'm just super grateful that I actually been my first Olympic and I could come out here and just do my best. So I'm just grateful.
Clearly you can see the emotion there from Lamara, coming to tears during that interview, and it speaks leaps and bounds to the efforts that athletes put in and not getting the results that they are visualizing for months and years, and coming to this stage now and not executing their plans. Clearly a really disappointment on her side, Jehu.
Well, the high jump is one of those technical events. It is not like the 100 meters, you could just pick up yourself and run or qualify as easy as this. She knows that her approach has to be on point, her takeoff has to be on point, the way she arches her back, clearing the barrier has to be on point, and her landing has to be on point. So she's one of those athletes. She placed 7th at the World Championships last year. We had high expectations for her. It is emotional because she jumped 2 meters or just over 2 meters since February this year. So we'd have thought at this point we could have seen some improvement on her progress from the World Championships and probably even challenge for a bid on the podium.
You've been the chef de mission for one of the Trinidad and Tobago teams recently. When you see an athlete in that side of emotion, what did you tell that athlete?
Well, first of all, the athlete needs to feel loved at that point. When you don't compete at your best, you feel, one, as though you've let everybody down, and you feel as though the world is against you. In general sense, in the Caribbean, we support winners, but at the end of the day, we have to realize too, these athletes, we are humans. We are human. We go through the same feelings. So it is really to just put your hand around them, show them, hey, I've been here, I've done it, and I'm here for you. It is as simple as that. And you leave them after to go through all the grievance stages that they will go through, which is all the anger, the pain, the hurt, but it's always to let them know, hey, I'm here and I'm willing to support you.
Yeah, we at We Party Prime, we wish Lamara all the best, and we are supporting you, Lamara. Now, Grenada's Lyndon Victor, 6th with 4,463 points, and Bahamas' Ken Mullins in 13th position at 4,255 points. Action in the decathlon, while Jamaica's Shanika Ricketts, 14.47, and Akelia Smith, 14.09, both into Saturday's triple jump final. Also in action today, Dominica's Thea Lafond is also into the final with a leap of 14.35 meters. And Jamaica's Kimberly Williams and Bahamas' Charisma Taylor failed to make triple jump final. Now, the decathlon, we looked at some of those races, Jehu. Initial thoughts on them?
Well, when you talk about pressure bursting,
it's monstrous.
When you talk about pressure busting pipe in our local parlance, pressure busting pipe, that is the event that is bust pipe, right? The decathlon consists of 10 events, all encompassing the different event groups in track and field. You have jumps, you have throws, you have sprints, and you have hurdling. So over a 2-day period, you have 10 events that these guys are going to go through, grueling events, grueling rounds. And here we see Lyndon Victor in the high jump, not one of his better performances, but somebody who has placed third at the World Championships last year. Currently sitting in 6th, but with the hopes that as he progresses through the javelin, where we would see him in one of his stronger events, that he will eventually start to make up some ground on the first 3 positions.
Arnold, 10 events for one athlete, one after the next in the space of 2 or 3 days?
Very tough. You deal with that. But you see me, I'm going to put on my coach cap and talk to Lamara Distin, because you all saw the pain. Yes, you can't just understand. You have to understand that pain. And when I see Lamara Distin in tears, emotions coming out, not able to do an interview properly, I tell you, Lamara, you have what it takes to be great. Nobody wants, no great athlete ever enjoyed losing. Losing must be painful, so that when you get back to the drawing board, the work that you will do, I have total respect for your effort. Your event takes time and takes finesse. Sometimes you're on, sometimes you're not. That's okay. But to jump 2 meters, you are brilliant. Your passion that I see there, I applaud you. Take a deep breath, feel the pain, and remember the pain every day as you train harder, you do your weights, you do your flexibility, you get your timing, you do your plyometrics. Remember that pain, because that pain will lead you to greatness, Lamara Distin. The Caribbean is proud of you. Well done. Go and relax, stay quiet, and feel that pain all day, every day for the next 4 years.
Brilliant. I don't think I could have said it much better, because as someone involved in sports as well, I do feel the pain. I don't know, it's the first time I'm seeing the athlete in this state, but I do feel the pain. The pain can come through every measure and every board and every boundary as well. So, of course, as Arnold said, we wish her all the very best in her future successes. We take a short break and come back with more discussions on We Party Prime. Stay with us.
Spirits bright, dans la ville de Paris, where dreams come alive. Nous sommes ensemble, notre âme survit. Glorious, we rise above, in the games of unity, we find our love, glorieux. Nous nous aimons, dans les jeux d'unité, nous trouvons.
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
everybody out. Fried chicken with a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Bucket together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flame. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment to share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come and get bucket together. Bucket together, bucket together.
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
Welcome back to We Party Prime. We are still talking track and field. We now take a look ahead to tomorrow's action. Here is a look at what is on the schedule for track and field. We're going to get that graphic up for you in a little bit. But Chris rejoins us for the discussion. Chris, before we get to your suggestions and your comments, here is the schedule at 3:05 a.m., 4:05 Eastern Caribbean time. The decathlon continues, and then at 4:35 Eastern Caribbean time, the men's 100-meter prelim round, the big one, happens at that time. Then 5:45, the men's 100-meter heats, decathlon discus throw, women's 100-meter semi-final, decathlon javelin, women's 100-meter final. Remember the time, 3:20 Eastern Caribbean time, 3:20 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time, and the decathlon 1500 meter later on in the day at 3:45 p.m. But the big one tomorrow, gentlemen, the women's 100 meter final at 3:20 Eastern Caribbean time. Certainly lots to look forward to tomorrow as it pertains to track and field. Chris, you were sitting on the sidelines when we saw the interview with Lamar. What are your thoughts on her, of course, having the emotions after her event?
Of who?
Distin, the high jumper.
Oh, Distin, yeah.
The high jumper.
No, yeah, very unfortunate for her. Had brought the tears. As I said, earlier this season, jumped 2 meters. I thought that was a big accomplishment. First woman to do that in the Caribbean, 2 meters, amazing. But just not at her best. She struggled with her approach. She struggled with her run-up, and that cost her in the end. 192 would be very unfortunate for her not to clear, considering what she has produced so far in this season. And do remember, she's a 2-time finalist in the World Championships, won the Commonwealth. So a lot of history behind her, a lot of big performances in big occasions, 5th and 9th in the World Championships. So quality athlete, and obviously you're coming to the pinnacle now, as you said, the Olympic Games. She wants to put her best foot forward and not to make a final. I think even if she had made a final but not medaled, she would have been okay. But not to make a final in that way would have been very disappointing for her. But based on her quality, I have no doubt that she'll be back. I guess that part, I think, is what needs to be ironed out, her approach, her run-up. Because obviously, if you get that approach wrong, your steps and so on, then the leap is going to be ill-timed and so on. So I think that is what they need to work at from a coaching perspective and so on. But I think in terms of her jumping quality, she has what it takes to be a big 2-meter jumper and more.
You see, Sachin, what Chris is talking about there, we talked about ideal performance state. You see, she's performed at Commonwealth, World Championships 5th and 9th. But you just up the level, you up the intensity, you up the anxiety. And if you don't monitor her anxiety levels, you change that run-up. If you want to do something so bad, it's like if you want to accelerate in a Formula 1 car with Hamilton and on Russell and so on and Verstappen, if they mash down too hard, the car will spin, they have to take it off. So she has to understand, under pressure, remain calm under pressure, so that her steps and her curve of her run and takeoff will be smooth. So it's just a little pressure.
Tomorrow's events, the big ones happening tomorrow, especially for the women's 100-meter final. What are your favorite ones that you are looking forward to tomorrow?
Well, I start in at 4:45 with the men first round, then the women's semi-final. When you talk about that, this is where it starts now. So while Talu, I hear we could take some pips because Mr. Smith is a Trinbagonian also. Like all these brilliant athletes just looking for a Trini husband, which is good, because Trinidad and Tobago full of good men, right? So I'm looking for the semi-final of the women, because how they match up. Look, my girl balling, no. We go, anyway, let me get back here. So Sha'Carri Richardson looks incredible. Will she continue? What we want to monitor between the heats and the semi-final, as the anxiety levels go up, the performance anxiety goes up, heart rates lift, people get a little nervous. Can you still look as relaxed, smooth, and sweet as you did in round 1? So Sha'Carri looked good because she's comfortable. She knowing that heat, nobody could test her. She could gallery and bounce down the track. How do you do that? When a topper next to you, do you get tight? Do you maintain your technique? Do you relax? Do you stick and through your dry face? All of these athletes now have to remain calm, execute.
Now we're going to take a look at the semi-finals tomorrow. That is going to be something really, really interesting. You mentioned Talu Smith there. Here is semi-final 1 with Diso from Italy on top of the list. But in that list there, Chris, any names that you were looking at?
Yeah, Talu Smith would go in as a favorite. Dina Asher-Smith as well, consistent 10.9 runner. I think to get into that final, you have to be running sub 11 seconds. So For me, Talu Smith and Dina Asher Smith, the two favorites. Obviously, Jamaica's Sasha Lee Ford, but she'll have to run better than she ran in the heats in the semi-finals. So, yeah, Kambunji has been there already, the Swiss athlete. She knows what it takes to get into a final. So, look out for her. But Talu Smith and Asher Smith, the two favorites. Obviously, the top three. But, yeah, I think Forbes maybe and Kambunji probably battling for that other position, and you never know. Swoboda could bring a surprise from Poland as well. So, but the two favorites, Talu and Dina Asher Smith.
Yeah, well, that was semi-final one. Arnold Roberts, Talu Smith certainly going in as favorites. I think it's writing on the wall there.
Well, I think so, but she used a little bit of too much energy in that round one. Don't get confused.
That's
These other girls are going to come.
Let's look at semi-final two. You spoke heavily about Sha'Carri Richardson, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Julian Alfred. Boy, oh boy.
Wow.
This is going to be the semi-final to look at. Oh.
And it's all on the inside. Sha'Carri, Shelly-Ann Fraser, and Julian Alfred right there on the left side of the track, closer to the grass. That's where the speed's going to come from. They're taking top two from this. So this one, it's, oh my goodness, this one, some big medal hope is going to have to scramble for our best time, because one of those three is going to come third. And I can't call it right now, because Sha'Carri Richardson is the world champion, looks great. She won the U.S. trials. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price this morning looked fantastic, comfortable. She only ran 55 meters. And Julian Alfred coming out of the London Diamond League with a great 200 run running down Gabby Thomas. She looks comfortable. Her interview was correct. She just wanted to get the kinks out, get the nerves out, get the first run there. But those three, I don't see anybody else.
Those three will come out.
Those three will come out, and I think it's going to be fast. That might be a 10-7.
And it's my next question as well, because this semi-final, can we possibly see the fastest times run in this semi-final because of the fact that it's so packed with great performance?
Yes, and I don't think any of the three can take chances here. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price has been there, done that. Yes, she's older now, but she's showed that she can still produce those kind of times. Julian Alfred probably having the best season of her career, producing great times, and Sha'Carri Richardson, based on what she's done over the last year or two, and still has a lot to give in the tank. So I expect this semi-final of the three to be the fastest, but I also expect all three to get through to the final.
Sachin, you're bright fella. You move from a man who say he wasn't so sure about the sport and so on. That is exactly correct. That semi-final, that time that wins that semi-final may be faster than the winner in the final, because these three are not going to play. There's no gamesmanship. There's no conserving right now, because you want to get that big cue. You don't want to be waiting to see if your time will be good. So those three girls, on top of that, those ladies are together on the left side of the track. So it's not like the one is way over in lane 8. They are going to feel the speed from the start. They're going to feel the peripheral vision. Their goosebumps are going to go. They're going to know who got a better start, who got up to run, who's up to speed. And those three are going to push. That's going to be the fastest time, I think, probably of the entire Olympic Games. Faster than the final, because on the final comes pressure, comes intensity, and it's just about winning.
And remember as well that, for example, if at the end of the entire 100 meters, those three ended up on the podium, it wouldn't have been a great surprise to the world, because those three have shown their quality. Well, one you know about all along, the other two looking to make their mark at the Olympic Games, because even though Sha'Carri has done it at the World Championships, not here. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, two-time champion. So if those three were to be the medalists at the end of it all, it wouldn't have been a great surprise. Do remember that with just, 2 hours between semi-final and final, that's major in terms of what you keep in the tank, how do you recover to then produce that. And we've seen many a time where semi-final times in the 100 meter have been faster than the final, as Anil has said. So it's which one of those athletes can produce that again. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, that goes in her favor. She's been there and done that before, knows what it takes, and has executed, even though she is older.
There's been semi-final 3 on the table there. We're going to take a look at that. But there's been some action off the field for a few months ago, but let's take a quick look at the semi-final 3 for the women 100
you're seeing
meter.
Another great semi-final.
Another good one.
Daryl Neater looked good this morning. Tia Clayton had a bad start, but looks comfortable, looks fast. Terry from the USA, solid. our Trinbagonian Leah Bertrand, she is in the race of a lifetime because these are all great runners. She's going to have to fight to get in third and hope that her time is fast enough to get that small cue. But it's amazing. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, a lot of inexperience in this semi-final. Tia Clayton, first time being there. She has the quality. We saw her run 10.86 just a couple months ago. Can she produce something like that on this stage? She has the quality, but does she have the mindset? Leduc running a national record for Canada. This is the first time she's on that stage. Can she produce that again? So this semi-final, I'm a little bit unsure about. Darnita's been around a long time, lots of experience. But yeah, this one is a tricky one to call. Terry as well from the United States has shown that she does have quality too, but again, not very experienced. So I think this is a lottery here.
I think Zoe Hobbs is the first woman from New Zealand to go sub-11, and she broke that. She went at 10.92 earlier in the year. I think it was in March or April.
I think Bertrand may struggle in this one, actually.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. You will not believe that.
I rebuke that. I think Bertrand will rise to the occasion and go along with Terry and hopefully squeeze in. But the Pharrell semi-final is the second one.
Yeah, well, the second one has to be, but any expectations of the men? What are the expectations from the men's perspective?
The men, I just want to look and see who running fast. I mean, looking, you know, Kishane, when he gets in front of the media and does those starts, he looks, you know, there's certain things in sport you just enjoy watching. Alexander Popov swimming. Tiger Woods swinging a golf club.
Leon Marchand.
Roger Federer hitting a one-hand backhand. You know, there are just some things that just draw you. When you see Kishane Thompson just striding and bouncing off that track, as Obadele Thompson said, it's something majestic. It's something you almost see the supreme being in that. You see God in that brilliance and that genius. So I want to see what he does, how he looks, and how each competitor, Noah Lyles, the showman, is he going to come out with some more Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or is he going to cool himself? What is he going to do? Seville, how is he looking? I just want to see how everybody is handling the pressure.
Chris Ricketts from Jamaica in another semi-final tomorrow. I do think she has what it takes to be on the podium.
In the final?
In the final, sorry.
Yeah, Shanika Ricketts, certainly. Second in the world this year in the triple jump we're talking. Two Jamaicans in there as well. So I think a Cuban as well in Perez. I think Perez might be the favorite for the gold. Just the fact that Rojas isn't there. Obviously, when Rojas is there, you're battling for silver and bronze because the gold is already decided. But I think with her being missing, the gold is up for grabs. Ricketts, second best in the world this year. If she finds her best form, she could very well lift the goal. I expect her to be on the podium. She qualified with just one jump today. But I think Perez, based on what she's shown in the season, she might be a slight favorite. But I think it might come down to herself and Ricketts. And don't forget Lamond as well from Dominica. Lafond, sorry, from Dominica. Third in the world this year. Took her a couple jumps to qualify, but I think once she gets over the nerves, she'll produce some good jumps in that final. And I think from a Caribbean perspective, we have, you know, a real possibility to maybe even grab 2 medals out of that event, and that would be major for the Caribbean. So this is Lafond here as well. But yeah, she has had a quality season, and she's quite springy as well.
Lafond, I mean, the people of Dominica have to be glued to their TV sets, every single citizen, because this young lady has mastered this incredible sport, this event called the triple jump, the hop, skip, and jump. I mean, my knees hurting me seeing them do that, but her speed, she was a little bit excited about the Olympics. She went over on her first jump, she stepped over a bit, but that's what happens. When you are a little bit geeged up and excited, you overrun and then you overstep. However, she qualified, she got 2 jumps in, and I think if she can get a good jump in the first 2 and then have 1 extra jump before they go into the final, Dominica could be celebrating. We could see the Dominica flag.
And even though she qualified with just 14.35, she has done 15.01 already this season, which is her personal best.
So she's being a bit conservative up front.
Yeah, and if she does that, I think she will be on the podium. If she can produce 15.01, she will be on that medal podium for Dominic. Of course, Akila Smith from Jamaica also in the final. Let's not forget her. But she's probably, I would say, third favorite of the Caribbean to medal.
And speaking of the medal, here is a look at the medal table at the end of day number 7 in Paris 2024. Can the USA maintain their second position? We'll wait to see. And, well, the USA is down to position number 4 in terms of gold medal count. China, 13, still on top of things there. 13 gold medals, 31 in total. France, 11, 36 in total. Australia, 11 gold, 22 in total. USA, 9 gold, but 43 in total. And top 5 there, finishing off the top 5. Great Britain with 9 gold and 27 in total. Your reactions to this, Chris? First up, USA fluctuating up and down the table?
Well, no, USA working their way up the table now. They were at 4 for quite some time, lower in about 8th, I think, yesterday or the day before, working their way up to 9th. Steady improvement, but no surprise from the Chinese as well, and in different events as well. The Chinese executed, as Anil had said. Usually by the time swimming is finished, the USA would have been high up. But yeah, it's good to see the spread over events for a country like China. France at home, bringing some form of respectability as well. That's great to see from the French. As host, you want to make sure you deliver, you put your best foot forward. So yeah, that's exciting to see. But we are anxious to see the Caribbean get onto that table.
Absolutely.
And obviously from a track and field perspective, that's been the Caribbean's best chance to accumulate medals. And so that we hope that, you know, as the days go on, we'll see many of our Caribbean neighbors, countries, whatever.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'll give a little boof to our graphics people, because yesterday they had USA 11 and they caused me to say about how they moved from 5 to 11 so much and now they're down to 9. So clearly that was a little mistake, but it's all right. But USA is struggling. France, tremendous. When you spend money and you invest in hosting,
you want returns,
you have to have returns.
Yeah,
and returns is gold medal, anthem, and the name of France. So that
all over
people,
the world. Yeah.
And a balance in their medals too. 11, 12, 13, a bit of evenness there.
You sound like you want to play away, boy. You just play away.
I hope that the decathletes as well tomorrow can really pull home. We have 2 in it, as you remember, Linda and Victor.
Decathlons, hopefully they can climb their points rankings there. Well, folks, thank you very much to Chris Taylor. Thanks to Anna Roberts, J. Hugh Gordon, General Atkinson as well, joining us earlier today. We want to thank you as well for joining us on We Party Prime. And we're going to continue our discussions tomorrow. Stay with us as we continue to give you the best of Paris. See you soon.
Sponsorship of this broadcast brought to you by
Be terrified by the line that went on forever, where one man is trapped in a never-ending car insurance payment line.
Wow, that sounds like a nightmare.
Right?
So why not skip the horror story and choose BCIC for all your car insurance needs?
You can go online and get a quote in less than 5 minutes. Or you can buy a policy in less than 10 minutes.